deal with airplane peanuts.
Just stop.
First of all,
can I talk?
Go
This
ahead.
is a 50-50 podcast.
Okay, go ahead.
And I feel like you think that you're the captain of the ship.
I am.
Ta-ta.
What did we rehearsed it?
Oh yeah. Thanks for being a listener.
Thank you. Thank you for being
a bad friend.
Which started 3 short years ago as a side project with a friend to help Bobby Lee get through one of the darkest times in his entire life, has since blossomed into a top 5 platform in all of comedy, and Bobby's main creative focus. But the journey to Bad Friends hitting over 1 million subscribers is not as simple as people may think. In reality, it's a story that involves death, betrayal, and a global pandemic to top it off. This is the real story of how Bad Friends took over podcasting.
We really, truly made that because that show was birthed from his relapse. When his dad died and he relapsed, he pulled me aside in the hallway at his old condo, and I knew something was wrong. And he was like, then he told me that he was high, and I knew something was weird. And he was like, if you tell anybody, we'll never talk again. And so immediately I went home and I panicked.
Told everybody.
Yeah. What am I going to do? I was like, I have to start telling people. I can't hide this. This is nuts. But I didn't tell Kalila. And at the time they were together, she had reached out to me far after the fact that this all went away and was like, I'm really sorry he put you in that predicament. I understand why you didn't come to me. Because it was like, what am I going to get in the middle of their relationship? Like it was really a vulnerable position for me to be in. So I made it my own way to get him to try to get help without having to bring it to the relationship part, because it was really hard, man.
Bobby Lee's father, Robert, passed away in August of 2019 after a long battle with Parkinson's disease, an event that caused Bobby so much pain and sorrow that he ended up relapsing after 17 years of sobriety.
And I knew when his dad died, he was avoiding the idea that his dad was dead. It's like he didn't care. And I was like, this is fake. You care. So you're dealing with it in a way that you don't want to communicate. And obviously it was fusing behind everybody's back. So once that came to the surface, I knew everything was going to kind of collapse. So he went away to rehab. And then when we went to Mexico, where I saw you guys, he relapsed again.
While Bobby Lee was away at rehab, Andrew Santino helped keep Tiger Belly up and running by filling in as a guest host. Bobby was allowed the necessary time to cope with the death of his father and regain control of his addiction issues. That newfound control also led to a profound realization that would change the comedy landscape forever moving forward.
Me and Kalila would do Tiger Belly together. And then we had joked about doing the show. And then when he relapsed, he pulled me aside when Kalila called him out and they sent him away to rehab. And he's like, I had a realization that we should become closer instead of this fringe thing that we're doing and actually do the show together and commit.
It was clear to viewers before the show even officially started that these two had unreal chemistry together. Andrew had been a guest on Tiger Belly 4 separate times leading up to 2020. And Bobby was the first ever guest on Andrew's podcast, Whiskey Ginger. It didn't take long for Bad Friends to start making serious noise online, as their first viral moment came almost instantly, in a very full circle moment when you think about how this podcast got started in the first place.
I wrote a song for my dad.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. Okay, there we go. That's a song. Very good.
Nowadays, it's almost impossible to fathom that Bad Friends could have been anything other than the brilliant duo of Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. But strangely enough, Andrew was not supposed to be the co-host of Bad Friends. In fact, the show was never supposed to be named Bad Friends in the first place.
At the time, though, right? I had promised you, because remember, you and I went to ATC.
I know, brother.
We drove to ATC before Andrew was even in the mix.
Yes, I understand.
And we met with Al Madrigal.
Can I tell you something? This is the only reason why I was upset. That was it. It was because you weren't upfront with me. We already went over this, but I'm just saying, all these things I keep hearing about this is like, I you guys are still my friends. You think I'm mad at you or something like that. No,
I don't care. I don't really care.
Bobby Lee and Eric Griffin are hilarious together and would have made a decent show. But I think we can all agree this podcast would never have hit 1 million subs so fast if not for the Red Rocket. The slight betrayal of Eric Griffin in exchange for Andrew Santino might have been the best business decision that Bobby Lee has ever made. And if you disagree, just take a look at the numbers.
Whiskey Ginger compared to Tiger Belly in performance.
Tiger or Bad Friends, you mean?
Oh, yes, right. Bad Friends. Yeah.
Oh, Bad Friends is huge, dude. We do 1 million downloads a week. We're huge. That one's way bigger. My show's like 400 grand or something like that. It's half of it.
Bad Friends is significantly larger than both Andrew and Bobby's original channels and podcasts. Whiskey Ginger's channel was started in 2006 and is currently closing in on 400,000 subs. And Tiger Belly, which has been thought of for years as one of the largest comedy podcasts on the internet, is sitting at 839,000 subs after joining YouTube back in 2015. And the Tiger Belly channel has 210 million channel views. Bad Friends has not only surpassed both these channels in subscriber count, but also has the same amount of channel views as Tiger Belly despite being conceived a full 5 years later. That basically means all the work that Bobby and his team have put into building Tiger Belly over the past 8 years has not only been replicated, but easily surpassed by Bad Friends in just 1/3 of the time. Bad Friends isn't even close to being done growing. In fact, the numbers show they're honestly just getting started, which is insane once you realize they're already the 4th largest comedy podcast on YouTube with 1.02 million subs, only behind Flagrant, who has 1.48 million subs and started in 2019, YMH at 1.78 million subs, which started in 2011, and This Past Weekend with Theo Von, who has 2.07 million subs and started all the way back in 2006.
Yeah, dude, when we're humming on that show, I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. I've never had more fun making comedy. It reminds me of when I was 22 and I started, and we would talk shit after bombing at open mics, and we'd all be in the parking lot making fun of each other for how bad we bombed it. It's the same thing. It felt the same way. It was like innocent and raw and stupid. It was so dumb. It's when me and that kid are talking shit, it's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing on earth. It's great.
Real quick, today's video is brought to you by UnderDog Fantasy, the easiest and best way to play fantasy sports. With football season ramping up, now is your chance to get in on the action with UnderDog Fantasy Pick'em games. All you do is pick high or low on a player's stats depending on how you think they're gonna do, and you could win up to 20 times your money in a single night if you're correct. Pick between 2 to 5 players' stats and you could win some serious money. I have my picks right here. I'm taking lower on Russell Wilson passing yards and higher on Michael Pittman and DeAndre Hopkins receiving. If I get all 3 picks right, I 6x my money. UnderDog is available in 30 plus states and Canada, including California, Texas, and Florida. Sign up with code JOKEWORLD today, and UnderDog will double your first deposit up to $500. They're also giving our subscribers a special offer for Joe Burrow over half a yard, available only to new users with promo code JOKEWORLD. Now back to the video. Another key to the success of Bad Friends is the autonomy of the show to not rely on big guest appearances for successful episodes. Bad Friends is completely self-sustainable. All they need is Andrew, Bobby, and their team of producers hiding in the window. This combination alone can easily put up million-view episodes every single week without the headache of booking guests and forcing interview conversation, which is such a rare feat that even the top 2 podcasts in this field can't pull this off. It's been really fun as a viewer to see the rise of Bad Friends over the last 3 years and 182 episodes. At this point, the boys have done it all, from a world tour, sold out live shows, a very successful merch line, and the development of multiple new characters like Rudy Jules and Jetski Johnson to help them out along the way. Guest spots from last week: the Joe Rogan Experience had on Sam Altman and Jimmy Carr. 2 Bears 1 Cave was Tom and Lane Norton. Kill Tony this week had on Kim Cogden and Jamar Neighbors. YMH talked with Tom's mother, Charo. We Might Be Drunk had on Nick Offerman. Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast was Shane, Mark, and Ari. Are You Garbage had on Dan Cummins. Andre Jin was on The Honeydew. Taste Buds had a French fry tournament. Lewis Black was the guest on Whiskey Ginger. Flagrant had on Dylan Dennis. And Hey Babe had on Robert Eiler and Tampa Tony.
Yeah, money changes people, right? Exactly.
Wow, dude.
What are you talking about?
Tampa Tony, just you're
I got this
man.
sweatshirt for free. Shout out Bustin' with the Boys.
If this was like 3 years ago, I would have been scheduled properly. But now he's a big shot. It's like, yeah, we're not, I just fucking roll. You know what I mean?
I don't get scheduled because I'm here in New York.
Right. Do you need a ride to the airport tomorrow, by the way?
Because Rob's going that way.
This past weekend with Theo Vaughn had on Sexy Red. The Tim Dillon Show talked with the Are You Garbage Boys, Kippy and H. Foley, who were also on Tiger Belly last week. The Blocks podcast had on Dan Soder. Chrissy Chaos welcomed Greg Gutfeld to the show. First Date featured Jared Freed. Rick Glassman had Todd Barry on Take Your Shoes Off. B and Ian with Jordan welcomed Rich Voss. Sal Volcano visited Savi's World. And David Kochner was the guest on the Harland Highway. As far as new stand-up specials are either out right now or coming out soon, Country Wayne's debut Netflix special, A Woman's Prayer, came out last week, as did Blake Wexler's new hour titled Daddy Longlegs, which you can find on the 800-Pound Gorilla YouTube channel right now.
And someone told me the other day that I told them that I was afraid of daddy longleg spiders. And she goes, oh, well, actually, a daddy longleg spider is harmless to human beings because its fangs are not strong enough to pierce human skin. And to that I said, oh, do not fucking talk to me like that. Don't speak to me that way. Its fangs are not strong enough. Like, socialize yourself. Go outside. What are we doing? Take that fang talk with you. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And if you get nothing out of my set tonight, this is very important. She was wrong. She was very wrong. A daddy longlegs is not harmless to human beings because no animal is harmless to humans if he makes you call him daddy. Ah, yeah, look at daddy's long legs. Oh, God.
There's also a few specials that will be coming out relatively soon. Heather McMahon's Son I Never Had is set to premiere on Netflix October 17th. And Dan Soder will be recording his next hour at the Helium Comedy Club in Portland, November 15th and 16th. We're definitely looking forward to Dan's new special, as well as Matt Rife's upcoming special Natural Selection, and debut specials from both Kim Cogden and Sal Volcano coming in early 2024. Be sure to subscribe to Joke World right now to stay up to date with both those releases. And not a stand-up special, but October 20th is the premiere date for Old Dads, a film that explores the ups and downs of three best friends who become fathers later in life. Directed by Bill Burr and written by Bill Burr with the help of Ben Tischler. Also, if you're interested in hearing about what happened last weekend at the biggest comedy festival of the year, which featured over 90 different comedians, we just uploaded our full Skankfest recap video that you can find on the end screen right after this. Thanks for watching.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.